Did you see? Did you see it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You said my name? Three years ago today, I met one.
Alright, so just to remind you guys, we're talking about graphing and slope-intercept form. And, or not graphing, sorry, writing equations. And so knowing slope-intercept form is going to be helpful. So we've used it a ton already, and we have used it in the other classes you've taken in high school. So our slope-intercept form is what? The slope-intercept form.
Y equals mx plus b.
Yeah. So in order to do y equals mx plus b, that means we need the slope and the y-intercept. So we need m and b. Now, if we don't have those, we have means to get them. We're able to get them because we know that there's coordinate points of x and y. There's also a formula for slope. We are able to use that slope formula if needed. And so just remind you that x and y are just different points on that line. So we're going to write an equation of the line in a lot of different ways today. So they're going to give us different information, and we'll have to write that equation of the line using the different information given to us. So we will use something called point slope form as well. A little bit is here and there if we need it. So the first one is almost so basic that you probably think you're doing something wrong. So in this problem, they say write the equation of a line that has this information, slope of -2 and y-intercept of 7. What have they given us? Which letters have they told us? M and which one? B. They've given us M and B in this case, so we don't have to find anything. We know everything we need to know. So in this case, we know the slope, we know M, we know B, so we can write the equation. So on something that simple, that really is all we have to do. So in y equals mx plus b, if we need m and b and they give them to us, we don't have to worry too much about finding them. All right, the next one is a little bit like, so they're going to keep getting increasingly more difficult. The next one, it tells us it goes through 5, -2, and has a slope of 2/5. So this time they don't tell us part of the problem we need. So what have they told us?
Slope.
They told us the slopes, they told us M. They told us M. That means we need to know B, but they didn't tell us B. So we need B, we need to find it. How can we find it? What can we do to find B? Yeah, Ethan?
25 and -2 as y and x into the slope form.
Yes, like Ethan just said, X and Y are kind of given to us there already. And And we have this formula where we can put m, x, and y all in, and that'll allow us to find our b. So y is -2, m is 2/5, x is 5, plus our b. So the 5s can cancel there. So I get -2 equals 2 plus b. So then to get our b alone, I can just subtract 2. So our b ends up being -2 minus 2, so b is -4. Now that I have that, now we can write that equation. So I don't use that point anymore because it's only one of the points out of many that we could have in the problem, and we can kind of ignore that now. Great. So next one gets a little bit trickier. So last time they gave us, or the first time they gave us m and b, the next time they only gave us m, this time not giving us either of them. So not giving us m or b. But instead they're giving us 2 points. Any thoughts on what we can do then if we have 2 points? Yeah, go ahead, Ben. So we can find the slope. So we know how to find the slope from 2 points. That's all we did last class, or a lot of what we did. So we're going to do that first. So we can do y2 minus y1, this formula, to find our slope. So 0 minus 9 is a -9. -2 minus 4 is a -6. -9 over -6, I can simplify that, divide them both by a -3. So I get 3 over 2 is my slope. Positive. Once I have 3 over 2, so I found m. Now I can find b like we just did, using the slope and one of the points. Which of the points do you guys want to use?
4 and 9.
4, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like using the positive ones typically. Sometimes when there's a 0 involved, it's kind of nice to do that. But probably the 4, 9 is probably a little bit easier, maybe. I don't know. It's x and y. So we're doing 3 halves times 4. That becomes 12 halves, or 6. Very good. I get 6 plus b. I'm going to move that 6 away. I'm going to find out my b is 3. Once I know b is 3, then I can write my equation. Questions there at all? So the next problems are asking us to find the equation of the line from a graph. So they're just giving us a graph in this case, and we want to write that equation of the line. Now you might be able to get the information you need just by looking at the graph or doing a little bit of counting. What do you guys see from this line that could help us? B is 2. We can already tell what B is just by looking at the graph. The B is where it crosses the y-axis. So B is just 2. I don't have to do any kind of math to figure that out other than counting. So B is 2. And remember, we want M and B. We find M. Yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
From the y-intercept to the x-intercept?
Yeah. Yeah, so we can count, like we did last time again. We can go down 2 and over, what does that look like, 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, down 2 and over 5. So the slope is a -2/5 down to over 5. So I have enough information to write this equation, y equals mx plus b. I can just put that together now. The next one, however, is a little bit trickier. I'm going to tell you right away that it's going to be a decimal, so it might bother you, but it's not always so basic as this that we can just look at it and figure it out. I could probably estimate about what the b would be, but obviously my graph might be drawn a little poorly, or I can't be maybe as accurate as I'd like. So if you look this time, I can't exactly tell what b is. It looks like 5 point something, but not like an exact value. We want to figure out as close as we can to an exact value. So any thoughts on what to do? Yeah, go ahead.
Find the slope or the rise of the line, figure out how much it rises, and divide that by how far away the intercept is from the nearest
Okay, let's start with the slope. Let's go there first. So m is rise over run. So I'm going to go up 3. It looks like over, what is that? 7. So 3 over 7 is my slope. And so I get what you're saying. I don't know if that's as easy for everyone to see as it is for you, especially if it's not just one away or something like that. So what I'm going to suggest then is what? Maybe, is there another thing we can do right now to find the b? Now I'm just kind of saying, like, try to, like, figure out how much further along it would be.
Make a coordinate.
Yeah, we have 2 points already. So we have the slope, and there's 2 points right there on the graph we can use to find our b. So we can pick either of those 2 points. So if I look, like this point is -1,5. This one is -8,2. We can use one of those 2 points along with our slope to find our b. So let's use maybe just the -1,5, the numbers are smaller. So we're going to use this point as our x and y. So I have to do 3/7 times -1, so obviously that's a -3/7. So I'm going to add 3/7. Now if you check 3/7 in your calculator, or I just changed it to 3/4. 3/7 in your calculator, it's like 0.4 about, right? Is that right? Something like that. So this ends up being, b ends up being about 5.4. And again, looking at our graph, like that looks about right, but again, you're counting on my drawing to be perfect, and maybe it's not. So 3/7x plus 5.4 is our equation. All right, so I think we could probably go outside and work through some of these. The backside is just parallel and perpendicular lines. We don't have to do all of the examples on the back, but we can do some of them. I think last year we picked and chose just a few to do. So we can head outside and do some whiteboards with some of these problems. We're gonna pause, you guys.
Is that? Go potty.